So it's finally time to do something with stuff in my bucket, and I've got 3 things I want to do. First one is I've got this surface plate. I bought it a while ago, but haven't used it much. I keep it a bit out of the way so it won't get damaged or anything by stuff dropping on it. So I just want to make a nice cover plate for it, and that's what this wooden board is for. So that's the first one. The second one is a addition to my bench top. My stand is moving. I've got this bench top, and underneath it I made this one myself with my brother, and underneath I've got a few sockets, but I want to add a couple more because I always have to change around plugs, so I'm going to add some. And the third thing I want to do is it's got something to do with this wheel. I want to use this base, this bearing, to replace this old bearing from this magnifying lamp, and see if I can mount it on the bench top. I'll start with the surface plate. It's not very difficult job or something like that. It's something I should have done maybe a while ago, and that's why it was in the bucket. I didn't cut this board to size already. It just was this size when I found it with the rest of my pieces of wood. Just a coincidence then. I've marked it off. I will also cut a few of these strips of profile. I don't know what this was meant to be, maybe baseboard or something. But I don't have power saw, so I will do this somewhere else in a minute. Have to go there anyway. And then I will do some sawing on the miter saw and make a nice cover plate. Square piece of wood. This will be the top part. Here's my miter saw. I'm not going to make 45 degrees corners for this. like a flat doesn't work very well. So here are the pieces, 2 short ones and 2 longer ones. These corners I have to take a little piece out, and I will make 2 separate parts out of these, the plates and the rim. And that's why I didn't put a 45-degree angle in it. Now it's a bit better to connect these parts, I think. There's a bit more surface area. Take this edge out, glue the pieces together, put a nail in. And, that will be the next step. Also, this part from the socket is broken. There's one side missing. I think that's the reason why I didn't install it in the first place. So I have to make something to be able to attach a second screw to secure it properly. And I've cut this old part of a keyboard from another project, and I'll cut a strip and drill a hole and see if I can glue it on this base. No. 17.15 millimeters. First make this a straight line. Oh, I will just mark it off. Now I'm gonna file these corners out. Let's see, I've cleaned my desk a bit, so stuff is not it's supposed to be. So stuff isn't where it's supposed to be today. I mean, I've moved a lot of it because I needed space to get the bench top upside down. Not being real tidy and precise today. This is not the original file handle. It was a knife sharpener. The cheapest I've ever found. Was from a €1 store, and the sharpener was really crap. I cut into it with a knife even, so I immediately threw it away. I was just curious how bad it would be, but the handle fit this file, so that was a bonus. Now I need to know if the glue is going to hold. So I will take a small corner of this and glue it in here. But first make this to size. Let's see. Or maybe drill it first, but problem is I returned my drill for the warranty, so I don't have my drill handy at the moment, and I have to charge my my old one. I don't have a corded drill, so that will have to wait, because I think it's easier to drill first than cut it. I will cut it a bit oversized now and make a piece to glue into the base. So now I will go get some glue. Modified this file recently. I got I've modified this file recently. I've grinded this lathe tool type edge on it. I can use it as a scraper. And, just roughen up the surface. It really gets into those corners. Some model cement, model glue. That's dry. See what it does. There's one part for the surface plate cover. Now I just have to make them flush. So nothing very difficult. It's really dull. two of these pieces. Cut corners out of these. Now I've got to figure out a way to hold these while gluing. So, I got the corners on the wrong one. So now I have 3 and I've got to make another small one. So now I have 4 correct pieces. Now we'll glue them at right angles. Doesn't seem quite right, but I have to put some clamps on it. Let this dry for a while. I have time enough, so I won't bother finding more large clamps. I don't know if I have enough. I glued a test piece of plastic in here with a model cement, and if it works, then I can glue this larger piece, drill a hole, cut it, and then I've got a working thing. Some more gluing, and let's check this part. No, but I think that's strong enough. Only I just noticed there's two little edges on here, so there's not a lot of contact area. We'll file these off. I just noticed there are two bit of edges, and that reduces the contact area. Or also some letters. Right. Get a bit of sanding paper. Also looks like this piece isn't entirely flat. dry for a while. And I'll continue when the glue is dry. I don't want to glue the edge to the plate, so I put some tin foil over it. And, now I will glue this. I have to wait for this to dry. And I checked this one. The glue didn't hold. I think the contact area was not large enough. And I can't just screw it in. I don't want to mess around near the mains power. The frame was a bit too tight, and I was trying to get it on the over the surface plate, but it was too tight and it broke. Now I covered the surface plate in tin foil, and I'm trying to glue it on the surface plate directly. Also, this board might not be perfectly square or a bit undersized. And this the second gluing attempt on this part seemed to work. Can hold some force now. Or not. Let's call that a stress test. The adhesive didn't stick to this material. Not very well, at least. I think I'm gonna try another type of adhesive now. Decided to add one more while I'm at it. Got this from the store. Also have an extra one of these now, so I can work ahead. While this one is drying, I tried super glue this time. Maybe it works a bit better. So now I can start working on the bench top. So here's the underside of the bench top. When I installed the electrics, I planned for the third socket. Already marked out the holes. And also some holes for cable clips. But when the socket broke, I kind of stopped working on it and started using the electrics. So now I'm finally finishing it. I think I'll add sockets here. If I remember correctly, there's extra wire in the PVC pipe. And installing the sockets was a bit of a hassle because of all that extra wire. But now I will cut the tube and just get everything out. Super glue is dry by now. It seems old. I'll install this one over here. That's where I plug in a lamp and my charger for my drill. So I won't be changing plugs very often. The wire in here, it's going back and forth. So I've got some extra wire to work with, but I'm gonna take it apart now. So this is how I installed it the first time. Cable comes in, there's a clamp here. This is stranded wire to the insulation wire. And actually this wire goes through the tube to the other socket and back again, and then it's installed here. So I've got a lot of extra cable to work with. I think I did it because I had to change plans after the third socket broke. So now I can install it a bit simpler, I think. I remember that installing these clamps was a bit tricky, or to get everything to fit inside, but that won't be a problem now. I hooked everything up. I was kind of wondering if this is the correct way to connect these in series with the current flowing through this metal, instead of using more of these clamps, and branch all the sockets. But I asked around on a forum, and we'll close them up for now, and if they say you shouldn't do that, then I'll change it back. But for now I will put it back together, and then I can start using it after I quickly tested it. So this wire wasn't seated. Properly. I test fitted the scap to see if I could fit all these blocks in here, and I think the connection, the wire came out, so the problem is solved now. And it is. I've also got the wire test the lead. I also tested the lead. Now testing the lead. Everything is connected, and there are no extra connections, which is also something I want to avoid. But now I can close it up and start using it again. So the bench top is in place. I can use it now. I plugged everything in. I also color coded the plugs, which is quite handy to do. Makes it easier to find a plug if you need it. Also, glue is right, and it's a good fit now. There's this wooden cover, which is a bit bigger than it has to be, but that's no problem. It's a nice fit. And I'm gonna make separate parts out of these, because here I've got a piece of waterproof sanding paper. And now I can just put it in here and sand down pieces without having to hold the paper, which I haven't tried before, but it seems like a nice idea. I'm gonna make a handle for this and clean these edges, round them off, and then I will work on the final thing I want to do for now, and that's the magnifying line. I rounded the corners a bit, sanded the outside, got this piece of cloth, old rag, to size, and drenched it in WD-40. Now I use this cloth to wipe the plate. I decided not to put a handle on the board because it would only be in the way. And I consider this one finished now. This was the original cover. Cheap stuff, plasticky. It's in the trash now. So I took it all apart again. I asked online if someone had any ideas about using these terminal blocks or these screw terminals here. And someone mentioned the risk of vibrations. That there is a slight possibility that one of these screws could get undone and form a dodgy connection. And I think it's a valid point. Not so much when you install this on a wall, but it's on my desk where I use machines. So I won't be taking any risk, and I'll change the connections to these terminal blocks. I did the rewiring. I can almost close it up now and start using it. I didn't have enough space in this socket, I think. It wouldn't have been an easy fit, so I've put the main branch in this one, and it splits to the left and to the right. There's 6 wires through this tube. And there's one thing. These conductors are 1 millimeter squared. That's good for 10 amps. But it's also the rating of the circuit breaker I put behind this. So that's not a problem, but I think it would be wise to install a bigger one if I ever want to use this thing somewhere else, and maybe put a heavier load on it. The next thing from the bucket is this magnifying lamp. I got it in a lot from an auction. It was fitted to some kind of wooden base, plywood or something like that. It has a weird bearing surface on it. It's a welded plate, welded to a bearing. And I want to change this, and a while ago I bought one of these wheels. You can buy these for very cheap at the Euro store. But this one is a bit more high quality. It feels a bit more sturdy. I bought it at the metal supplier, and I'm gonna see if I can adjust this one to fit this base. And for that I need to drill out this hole to remove the wheel, and then see what I can do to put it on here. I unscrewed the old bearing. As you can see, it's hand welded. It's hand modified for this lamp. These plates are a bit bent, but that's not a problem. I also removed the wheel here by drilling out the axle. And this doesn't quite fit, but I think I can find something to wrap around, like a U shape, like this, and then make this work for this lamp. I don't know if I showed it, but I've put a rack drenched in WD-40 between the wooden cover and the surface plate. But all it did was excellent job at soaking into the wood and coloring it. Pretty nice finish, but that was not my intention. So I cut up the old cover, and this has a plastic top. I will be using this, and I didn't want to do it before because there was nothing in between. But now I can store some pieces of sanding paper in between. I have it in a convenient place. Just have this set. I'm not really sure how I'm gonna connect this yet. Maybe try and weld it or something, or just some type of screw connection. Or maybe just use one hole. There's a lot of possibilities. And I can make a spacer to fit in between here. That's something I can already do. And just think about this for a while. Making some spacers. First center drilling with a 5% cobalt center drill. It's a 1mm drill. I'll touch up the surface and try to part off some discs. Drill to 5.5mm in 2 steps. I finished this spacers, and I drilled out this hole just to see what would happen if I attach this one directly to this hole before I start making new holes. I've put this together, and I just had an idea, and I've got this box of old parts, and maybe I can do something with the spring. I will try and put it between this hole or somewhere over here and the base of the wheel, or this bracket I mean. So I don't really need the spring. I was thinking about this, being able to rotate the arm away and keep the angles how they are, so it's easy to adjust, or if it's up in my face I can just move it out of the way and make small adjustments. So I will consider this a feature and don't work. I'm not gonna put a spring in here. I attach it to a wooden base temporarily, and I've got to think about a proper clamp, maybe some kind of C-clamp or something like that. That will be the next step, and then the project is finished. I had to wait for an opportunity to weld, and in the meantime I've been busy with other stuff. Was making stuff for the hexagon. I picked up my cube project, but I made the bracket, and I've practiced my my draw filing on it. Top is nice. Welding is a bit sloppy. I'm not a good welder, and haven't welded with electrodes in a while, and now I tried again. So. But this bracket should hold the lamp. And, it's got 4 holes, tapped M4. Gotta find some screws, and have to make a clamping bolt, which fits here. I made a cap for the threaded rod for the clamp, and I milled a flat spot on it, and now I'm gonna drill a small hole and tap for M3 for the set screw. I only have one M8 bolt long enough, so it was an easy choice. I had to drill this hole again. It was too close to the edge the first time. There's the set screw, M3, and I'll have to clean my desk now, and I'll show you the lamp next. So here's the result. I clamped the lamp to my bench top. I had to use a steel spacer because the bolt is not long enough. I thought I was going to clamp it on the rear of this, where there's a metal pipe, but I extended this a bit because I want to fit it also here, and I can't clamp it on the edge because this is not a straight edge, so I had to make it a bit longer and clamp it like this. This is not a problem. And there's one thing about the lamp I might want to change, and that's it doesn't swivel like this and rotate. I was trying it just now, and I kind of missed that feature, so maybe I'll add that. But I consider this done. So that's my first real bucket project. And this is the current state of the bucket. This is something I added this week. It's been a while. There's some other new stuff in here, but I'll see what I'll do next. I was kind of hoping to do other stuff first, so I don't know when the next bucket episode is. But thanks for watching, and hope to see you soon. So one quick afterthought, I remembered I had this box. Don't know if you just saw it in the video, but there's these clamps on it, these metal clamps. I got the design from a book, but these are quite standard clamps. I thought I might be able to use one for the hinge for the lamp, but I also found this one, which is a 3D printed one. Now I do have a 3D printer, but it's not operational. I have to fix the extruder head. And actually that's a project in my bucket. And that will be an upcoming one. And the first thing I'll do with my 3D printer is making a new swivel joint for this lamp. So that's another bucket placeholder.